Hey guys, it's ShippedTipz back with another video. And today I will be doing a Snorlax inspired nail set. I had drew a video on it, I believe it was Thursday. I had drawn out how I wanted to do these nails, and now I'm finally completing them. To start, I'm going to remove the nails that are going to be my 3D art and painted nails. And the nails that I have left are the ones that are going to have just that painted background. So the color that I used was G37. It's a really pretty light blue from the same brand that I always use. And then I'm using these two green colors. It's a light green and a dark green, G72 and G29, I believe. And those are going to be the green that I use for like the foliage in the background. The way that these nails just like to jump off the base drives me insane. I'm just using a plain old dull paintbrush to add my details. I use this brush because it has a dull end. As you can see, it's kind of frayed. So it's not going to give me perfect clean lines, is exactly what I don't want. I don't want perfect clean lines. I need them like raggedy, more like organic kind of shape. And the way I'm putting it on here is, as you can see, I'm just kind of like just dabbing. The motion I'm using is a dabbing, just like almost like stippling motion. You can see it better when I do this thumb here. The thumb is going to be different because the design on it's going to be different. But literally, I'm just taking some of that green and just slowly building it up. Like no real shape, just adding that green and just stippling. Just tap, 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 tap. And I'm doing both nails at the same time. So you'll see me grab a nail that looks the exact same. I make sure to dab off the excess of the green so that it doesn't end up being too much paint on the nail. We want to keep it kind of dry to give it that painted, almost watercolor effect. This part isn't really important for me to add, but I just want y'all to know that I had layered these nails 3 times to really build up the color. So I just wanted to show you guys how I was layering it. I just took the same green that I already had and just kind of went around the nail with it. I didn't go like perfectly on what I did. I kind of did it like, think about like a cake has layers. So it's like I was doing like frosting on it, like just a layer here, leave a gap, layer here, leave a gap. Because if you do it all too much on itself, then it just starts to look like a colored blob, like cow print. And that's not what we want. So now I'm going in with the blue to add more of that water effect because, you know, without adding this dark blue, it tends to just look like a dark blue background. So I use this dark blue and I use the same brush that I have. I didn't really clean it because it's not a big deal. And you're just gonna tap around the green areas. And you really want to get in the edges because it'll give the green the depth it needs while also giving depth to the blue. Like it has a nice, like, it just works together. Like you can see it really coming together when I bring that blue more into the green. You can see how that edge starts to get a little bit darker, a little bit more prominent. That's what we want. And even though a lot of that light blue color is gone, there's still enough of it there to show what, you know, the difference between the colors. It doesn't just look like a whole bunch of dark blue on top. So right here, I'm showing the difference between the one where I did the painted effect and the one where I didn't do that blue at all. For the thumb, I won't be adding the yellow at all. It's just not important because I'm gonna end up drawing on the bulk of this. So did I really need to do any of that to the thumb? Probably no, I could have did it afterwards, but I figured for the sake of it, I might as well just do it all together. The middle nail has ripples, so I used rhinestone gel because it was way thicker than my sculpting gel that I had, and I just went around in a swirl to kind of give it that effect. To stop the rhinestone gel from possibly moving, I would cure it in between doing swirls just so it'll hold its shape. After curing my ripple nail, I went in with this Aurora powder, sorry. And I wish I would have used the tool that it came with rather than a brush because I realized that I should have top coated the background so that the powder wouldn't get on it. But originally I didn't think it was a big deal because I was like, oh, this powder is kind of translucent, but no, it's literally like white powder. It's like you can see it in the video, it kind of has a yellowish tint to it. So in the future, I would probably make sure that I top coat the background or at least clean up in between the ripples so that it doesn't make the whole background have that patchy whiteness. Now I'm taking that skin tone mix I made with just white and a little bit of pastel yellow, and I'm gonna kind of sketch out the shape of the circle, and then I'm gonna go back in and fill it in with the same color. This is the start of the foot. After my foot is cured, I go in with that kind of like paw looking area with my brown. And it's just another circle. So I'm just going to make another circle right, kind of not in the middle, but a little further down from the middle with that brown color. My last video, I was trying to figure out how many toes Snorlax has or how many like toenails he has because online there's like 4, sometimes there's 3, so I just really didn't know which one. But I actually have a Snorlax plush, so I just looked at that and he has 3. So if that's wrong, I don't know. But it's what I did because it's what I know. After that's fully cured, I'm just gonna go in with some cell shading. Just how, like, kind of how they do it like in animes, where they just have that thick shadow line. That's essentially what I'm doing. The time for the thumbs have finally come. I didn't even think we'd make it here. But I'm using white and I'm just kind of mapping out the shape of Snorlax. Doing this was a little bit of a challenge, but sometimes when I have a hard time trying to draw something on there, I go back to the basics of just adding shapes. So you'll see that it has started out with like just a rectangle and a square, and then I slowly started to round it out. It really helps me to understand how big I want it to be and the shapes it's going to have. Like his ears, yeah, triangle, his face is kind of round, but sometimes it's hard to make a good enough circle. So if you just start with a square and just curve where you want it to curve, you can slowly fill it in. I also think making the whole thing white instead of trying to draw it exact makes it a lot easier for me to see the silhouette, like his shape. That way when I go in and I add those actual colors, it's more accurate. It's the same process for the other thumb, it's just a different pose. After the shape is cured, I just go in with the blue teal that I had mixed and I just go around and drawing his fur. Taking the same skin tone mix that I have for the foot, I'm going to fill in the white areas with that color. At the beginning, you can kind of see how you can see through his face with like the bubbles and the little spots and stuff. But the skin tone polish that I put on top of it should do a really good job of camouflaging that. While one thumb was curing, I moved on to the next and started my outline with black polish. One thumb, I did the face first, and then the other one, I did the outline first. And that's really because I was struggling with doing the face of one of them. Because when you have more simpler designs, I feel like it's easier to mess up because a little thing could change how it looks. If you have like a bunch of components that make a character look like a character, then you can kind of get away with it looking a little off. But like with simple characters like Hello Kitty and stuff, really their eyes are a big deal. If they're too far apart or too close, it'll really change how they look. Well, I ended up doing his face like 6 times because his face is so simple and I can easily mess it up. Taking my white polish, I just add his little fingernails and I fill in the whites of the teeth. I wanted to incorporate that 3D flower that I made a little bit more into this nail set. So on this scene, I just added some pink flowers around Snorlax. It is sculpting time, and everything from here and now on should just be sculpting. I used just regular builder gel that I bought off of Amazon. No special brand, no nothing. I've had no problems with it. The first design I'm starting with is that flower design, and I'm just going to take 3 balls about the same size and place them around each other, kind of like in the shape that I want the petals to be. I'll take that tool and I'll push the gel into the shape of the petal. The tip of my pusher tool thing is like broken. I don't know how that broke. It's literally rubber. But I'm thinking about purchasing another one. I wasn't going to in the future because normally I don't need it to be like really nice clean cut. But especially in the spring, I want to add more flowers. Like I want to add more flowers to my designs. So I feel like I need a better tip to do that with. So I might end up buying another one. For the pink nail, I'm just taking this pink color. I don't remember the name of it, but it's from the same exact brand. It's a really cute pink, and I'm just going around and putting that pink red on top. I'm going to take a nice good glob of that sculpting gel, and I'm going to roll it into a ball and just place it right in the middle. What I was doing is I'm flattening it out into the shape that I want, and then I'm going to kind of cut it out into the shape that I need. So like where his ears and stuff are, I took a big chunk from the top of the head, you know, wiggled that off so that I can better sculpt those ears that he has. Once I'm happy with the shape, I'll take my brush and dip it into some rubbing alcohol, and I'll just wipe along the surface of the 3D design. The rubbing alcohol kind of smooths out any like kinks and stuff that you might have in it. For the last nail, I did this one a bit differently. I sketched it out on the nail first, and then I'm going to build the 3D design on top. Because when I had originally went into it and I just tried to do the body, I ended up making his body a bit bigger than I wanted it to be. So by drawing it out first and then just putting the pieces on top, it keeps it the exact size that I want, and it's easier for me to see what size I want it to be. I'm going to be switching back and forth between these two fingers, but I'm taking that skin tone color again, and I'm going to use my brush to kind of make it all even around the face. I'm pretty sure I did about like 3 coats of this. I don't know. But yeah, I do a lot of coats because it's really important, especially when using the clear builder gel. I went a little bit faster with this one, but for this nail, it was literally just making a bunch of balls in the shape that I wanted and just sculpting it into the shape that I have drawn on the nail. So I took like as you can see here, I took like a decent sized circle. I'm flattening it around my design, and then I'm pulling out those ears and kind of like sharpening it around. It's kind of hard to see because it's clear builder gel. If it was white, it'd probably be a bit easier. When I move on to the stomach, I have already cured the head, and I do the same thing. I get the size that I want, shape it, cure it. I cure in between each one because I don't want to accidentally mess up an arm, a body, like accidentally put my thumb in it or something like that. So this just stops like me from making like any errors. For the foot, I wanted it to kind of stick up a little bit. So I took a ball again, put it right where I want the foot to be, and I kind of flattened it at the bottom and just carved around, like tapped around to make that kind of toe shape. I completed the rest of the sculpting of the body off camera. Now I'm just painting. I'm using that blue polish that I used for his fur, and I'm just going around and drawing out the shape. I used the black polish to draw his face. I feel like at this point, everything I'm doing is pretty much self-explanatory. This is the same color skin tone I use, same blue, same this, same that. I told you, like, ultimately everything ends up being the same. There's not really much more for me to say, so for the rest of this video, I'm gonna just let y'all watch. I know, y'all, this was a long video, way longer than I expected, but to be fair, this set did take me like probably 3-5 hours to do. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, y'all, but the video is finally out now. Show it some love, and thank y'all for watching. Bye, guys.